Thank you. We'll take a question from studio audience. Sir, if you'll please identify yourself and ask your question.
Sure. My name is Tim League. I'm a local businessman here in Austin, and the number one issue for me is the downturn in the economy. And what I'm looking for in a mayor is somebody who can lead us and keep the economy strong. Leadership, I don't think, begins when the next mayor takes office. We've been in a downturn for almost a year right now, and what I'm looking for is, for those of you in the private sector as well as those of you in city council, what have you done in the last year that shows me that you're the leader that can keep our economy strong for the years ahead?
Carol.
I did the last one first, yeah.
David.
You know, the city council was in charge for the last how many years? They're the ones that have got us into the mess, and I don't know if the current administration is the one that's going to get us out of this mess. You know, we need a change. Business decisions are made every day at the city council, but you've got politicians making them. You need to have a businessman making those decisions. The city's spending $2.2 billion in East Texas. That's a lot of money that we could have in the Austin economy. They're spending $250 million on outdated solar technology where all the jobs are shipped off to China. We could spend that money in Austin, Texas, and create wonderful jobs with research and development of new technology so that when we invest the money, $200 million in a solar power plant, it's going to be way more efficient. And it's going to do a lot more for the economy long term. You know, we've got 1,000 people that make 100 grand a year in Austin, Texas. You know, they're spending money they don't have. I mean, Capital Metro is such a waste of money. It would probably be cheaper to pay everybody to stay at home and not go to work to relieve traffic congestion than the amount of money they're paying on Capital Metro. It's actually cheaper to hire a private taxi cab to take anyone in town where they want to go who currently rides Capital Metro. It's a huge, huge debacle. It's a huge waste of money, and I don't want to give the city of Austin any more of my money to be squandered until they prove to me that they know how to manage a budget. The city needs to encourage job growth, not just high-tech job growth, but any job growth. When you don't have a job, you don't care what color your job is, if it's a green-collar, white-collar job. You just want to have a job. Thank you.
Ms. Luckman.
Well, as I said earlier tonight, my main focus going forward is going to help local business, local small business and entrepreneurs who are already here in Austin to succeed. And part of my plan is to create a process for when the city buys products or services to have a preferential system for our local businesses. That would mean, for example, that in the bidding process, all other things being equal, the local vendor or the local service provider would be awarded that bid over someone from out of town. It also could mean, and this is what the mayoral candidate from Houston is proposing, and I think it's a good idea and we ought to take a look at it for here in Austin, that in that same process, bidding to provide products or services to the city, that if a local vendor or a local supplier is within 10% of the low bid, then we would give that local business, that local provider, an opportunity to match that low bid, and if they could do that, award that to the local business. I think other cities around Texas are doing that, so we need to, if for no other reason, we need to be doing it for that reason as well. You know, we are in tough economic times, but a very slight silver lining to that is the cost of materials is very low. So building some of our major infrastructure projects, which also create jobs, is going to be cheaper right now, and we're moving forward with that on a new water treatment plant and other big projects.
Mr. Ingalls.
Thank you. First of all, I don't think that we should put all of our eggs in one basket and invest in trying to make breakthroughs in technology and hoping to God that we get a miracle of an invention that will revolutionize our technology industry. My current relationship, he works in the technology industry. Those jobs are going away. We can't say, well, we're going to put all our money here and hope in 10 years we're going to have a miracle. We need to put all of our money and resource that we can in our local businesses, because our local small businesses, when they work together and when we help them succeed, we have a strong, stable economy. That's what we need to be working on. We don't need to be wasting money putting it into technology research, hoping for a miracle that we may not get. And then where are we going to be with our economy? Because instead of putting it soundly into our small businesses and creating a sound economy, we hoped for a miracle and didn't get one, and if we do get one, it won't be viable for people to buy that new technology for at least 10 to 15 years. Most people don't realize when new technology is developed, it's not affordable for 10 to 15 years. We don't got that kind of time to wait to have a stable economy. We need to invest our money and our resources in our small businesses now, not later.
Thank you.
There's broad consensus that the three biggest areas of opportunity in the 21st century economy are biotech and life sciences, it's clean energy, and it's creative media. And that has been the focus of my work on the City Council. I chair the City Council's Emerging Technologies Committee. Last year, I brought together 7 leaders at the University of Texas with the Greater Austin Chamber and Austin Energy, and we spent 5 months in conference rooms working through this question. How can we make Austin the innovation center on clean energy technologies and do what we did with Cimatech in the late 80s to make that innovation bring in companies? Isaac Barkas for the Austin Technology Incubator at UT, and Michael Weber, a UT professor, the three of us went and recruited the Environmental Defense Fund to lead this effort, which we named the Pecan Street Project. Pecan Street Project now is arguably the nation's most significant clean energy research and development partnership. We have 10 of America's major technology companies, 24 University of Texas professors, and we're working out of Cimatech, and we've already been recruiting stimulus funding for what is called a smart grid energy internet. Department of Energy's reaction to the Pecan Street Project was that looks like the stimulus bill and the $4.2 billion in it for smart grid projects, looks like it was written for the Pecan Street Project. But I've also worked with the University of Texas to create a bioscience incubator. I worked to accelerate bond funding for Austin Studios, make it ready, and I've recruited in the last year solar, financial services, medical devices, and video game companies.
Ms. Strayhorn.
We need to give boosts up to our small businesses, not bailouts, but boosts up. Incentives for our small businesses right here. Before a candidate for mayor tells you what they're going to do, ask them what they've done, and that's exactly what you're doing, sir. The $250 million solar mess that's going to be in Weberville, that's for 30 megawatts, too much money, too little power. But the main concern, my real concern there too, is it sent those solar manufacturing jobs right to China, the millions of dollars and countless jobs. And the proof in the pudding is Solar Array Ventures is now out of here. That decision was made last week. They're going with their 210 jobs to New Mexico, going to build a big facility there, going to be doing a solar panel manufacturing there. This council rushed that decision through with people in the council chamber saying, stop, you're going to ruin businesses small and large here in this city, and you're running up the fuel costs for taking dollars out of classrooms in our Austin Independent School District. So we need to certainly have a business vision 2015 that concentrates on small business. I'm pleased and proud to have the endorsement of the Small Business Groups of Central Texas, changeaustin.org. They know that we're going to do business differently in this city. We can have a train and gain program where if you as a small business entrepreneur will take on an at-risk teenager across this city, employ that teenager, you'll get tax breaks.
Thank you.